Winston Churchill was a British leader known for his powerful speeches and leadership during World War II. He guided Britain during one of its darkest times. His efforts helped his country stand firm against the Nazis, showing courage and resilience. Churchill became a symbol of hope and determination for many people. He served twice as Prime Minister, from 1940 to 1945, and from 1951 to 1955. His influence shaped Britain's role in global politics during and after the war. Churchill's life was filled with challenges and achievements. He started as a soldier and writer before becoming a politician. His speeches inspired millions. During World War II, he worked closely with U.S. President Roosevelt and Soviet leader Stalin. Together, they planned strategies to defeat the Axis powers. His leadership helped turn the tide of the war, leading the Allies to victory in 1945. His role in this victory is one of his greatest contributions to history. Beyond the war, Churchill warned the world about the dangers of the Soviet Union's expansion after 1945. His voice influenced decisions in the Cold War era. Churchill's legacy is remembered for his leadership in tough times, his ability to inspire others, and his commitment to protecting freedom. His career spanned many decades, leaving a lasting mark on politics, history, and leadership. His life is a story of resilience, courage, and service to his nation. Winston Churchill was born on November 30th, 1874, at Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, England. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a famous politician. His mother, Jennie Jerome, was American and known for her beauty and charm. Churchill grew up with an interesting mix of English and American influences. Despite his family's status, Churchill's childhood was not very happy. His parents were often busy, leaving him feeling lonely and neglected. A bright spot in his early years was his nurse, Mrs. Everest, who showed him great kindness and care. She remained important to him throughout his life. Churchill struggled in school, especially at Harrow, where his grades were poor. Many believed he would not amount to much due to his academic struggles. Despite these challenges, Churchill had a strong interest in history and reading. He often spent time studying on his own, showing early signs of ambition. Eventually, Churchill attended the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst. Though he failed the entrance exam twice, he succeeded on his third attempt. At Sandhurst, he excelled in military studies, proving his critics wrong. He graduated 20th in a class of 130, showing his determination and focus. This achievement marked the start of Churchill's career as a soldier. It was his first step toward the remarkable life he would later lead. After graduating from Sandhurst, Churchill joined the British Army in 1895. He was assigned to the 4th Hussars, a cavalry regiment known for its bravery. His first military experience was in Cuba, where he reported on the Cuban War of Independence. This trip sparked his interest in writing about military events. Churchill also served in India, where he fought on the northwest frontier. He sent reports to British newspapers, which gained him attention as a skilled writer. In Sudan, Churchill joined Lord Kitchener's campaign along the Nile. He participated in the Battle of Omdurman, a key victory for Britain, and wrote about the experience. His book, The River War, described the campaign and showed his talent for storytelling. It established him as both a soldier and an author. These experiences taught Churchill the importance of strategy and gave him confidence. They also built his reputation as a brave and intelligent officer. One of Churchill's most famous adventures was during the Boer War in South Africa. While covering the war as a journalist, he was captured by Boer forces. His daring escape from prison made him a national hero in Britain. This event helped launch his political career, as people admired his courage and determination. By the time Churchill returned to Britain, he was both a celebrated soldier and a recognized writer. These achievements gave him a strong start in public life. After returning from the Boer War, Churchill entered politics. In 1900, he was elected to Parliament as a Conservative, representing the town of Oldham. Early in his career, Churchill focused on social issues and economic reforms. However, his views often clashed with the Conservative Party's traditional beliefs. By 1904, Churchill switched to the Liberal Party, believing they better supported his ideas. This move was controversial, but allowed him to pursue his goals. Churchill quickly gained attention for his powerful speeches and bold ideas. He became known as a politician willing to challenge outdated policies. In 1906, he won a seat in Manchester and joined the Liberal government. His new role gave him opportunities to promote fairer laws and social programs. He worked on policies to improve workers' rights, reduce poverty, and support economic growth. These efforts made him a rising star in British politics. As president of the Board of Trade in 1908, Churchill introduced reforms to help workers. He supported minimum wages and improved conditions in factories. Churchill's commitment to social justice earned him both praise and criticism. Some admired his courage, while others accused him of betraying his class. Despite criticism, Churchill's focus remained on helping ordinary people. His political ideas and strong speeches set him apart as a leader with vision. In 1911, Churchill became First Lord of the Admiralty, responsible for the British Navy. He worked to modernize the fleet, preparing for possible war in Europe. Churchill's efforts included creating a naval war staff and ensuring the Navy was ready for action. He also supported developing new technologies, like submarines. When World War I began in 1914, Churchill's leadership played a crucial role. He ensured Britain's navy was strong and ready to defend the country. Churchill pushed for bold strategies during the war. One idea was the Dardanelles campaign, which aimed to control a key waterway and weaken the enemy. The campaign failed due to poor planning and delays. Churchill faced heavy criticism and was removed from his position. It was a major setback in his career. Feeling defeated, Churchill resigned from the government and joined the army. He served on the Western Front, gaining respect for his bravery. After the war, Churchill returned to politics as Minister of Munitions. He focused on rebuilding Britain and supporting soldiers returning from the war. He also played a role in the Treaty of Versailles, which officially ended the war. However, tensions in Europe continued, laying the groundwork for future conflict. Despite setbacks, Churchill's determination to serve his country never wavered. His experiences during World War I shaped his leadership in the years to come. After World War I, Churchill's political career faced challenges. In 1922, he lost his seat in Parliament and was excluded from the government for many years. During this period, he spent time writing books and articles to support himself. His works included histories and autobiographies, showing his literary skill. Churchill also discovered a love for painting, which became a favorite hobby. Despite these personal successes, he remained determined to return to politics. Churchill's views often clashed with mainstream politics. He strongly opposed granting more independence to India, a position that made him unpopular. At the same time, Churchill warned about the growing danger of Nazi Germany. He believed Britain needed to prepare for future threats, but few leaders agreed. His speeches about Germany and rearming Britain were ignored by many. Some people saw him as out of touch, but he refused to stay silent. Despite being outside the government, Churchill worked tirelessly to gather information about global politics. He created a private network to stay informed. His research helped him predict key events, like Germany's plans to expand its territory. Slowly, people began to see the truth in his warnings. By 1939, as tensions rose in Europe, Churchill's advice gained more attention. He was preparing for a return to leadership at a critical moment. In 1939, World War II began, and Britain faced a major threat from Nazi Germany. Churchill was appointed First Lord of the Admiralty, overseeing the Navy again. His leadership and experience impressed many, and in 1940, he became Prime Minister. He replaced Neville Chamberlain, who had failed to stop German aggression. Churchill's first months as Prime Minister were critical. Germany had invaded several countries, and Britain was preparing for the possibility of an invasion. Churchill inspired the nation with his powerful speeches. Phrases like, "We shall fight on the beaches," gave people hope during difficult times. He formed strong alliances with other Allied leaders, including U.S. President Roosevelt and Soviet leader Stalin. Together, they planned strategies to defeat the Axis powers. Despite setbacks, Churchill's determination never wavered. He encouraged resistance and led Britain through the Blitz, a series of German air attacks on cities. Churchill also oversaw key military victories, like the Battle of Britain, where the Royal Air Force defended the country from German attacks. He played a major role in planning the D-Day invasion in 1944, which helped liberate Europe from Nazi control. His leadership was crucial to Allied success. By 1945, Germany was defeated, and Churchill was celebrated as a hero. However, despite his war leadership, he lost the election that followed the war. Churchill's wartime efforts had saved Britain from defeat. His ability to inspire, strategize, and lead during World War II remains one of his greatest achievements. His speeches, decisions, and partnerships shaped the course of history. Though no longer Prime Minister, he remained a respected voice in world politics. Churchill's leadership during the war marked him as one of history's greatest figures. He showed courage, vision, and a deep commitment to his country. After World War II ended in 1945, Churchill lost the general election. Many were surprised, but the public wanted changes to rebuild the country. Despite this defeat, Churchill stayed active in politics. He became leader of the opposition, speaking against the Soviet Union's growing power. His famous Iron Curtain speech in 1946 warned about the division in Europe. He urged Western nations to stand together against the spread of communism. In 1951, Churchill was re-elected as Prime Minister. His second term focused on foreign relations and managing the tensions of the Cold War. Churchill worked to strengthen Britain's alliances, especially with the United States. He believed cooperation was key to maintaining peace. Domestically, he supported rebuilding the economy and improving the lives of ordinary citizens. However, his health began to decline during this period. In 1955, Churchill resigned as Prime Minister due to poor health. Even after stepping down, he continued to write and influence public debates. His contributions during his second term helped stabilize Britain during a challenging time. He remained a respected global figure until his death in 1965. Churchill's post-war years showed his deep commitment to Britain. His leadership during peace was as significant as his leadership in war. Beyond the war, Churchill's warnings about the Soviet Union shaped the early years of the Cold War. He encouraged nations to stay united against threats to freedom. His achievements extended beyond politics. His writings, speeches, and contributions to world affairs left a lasting impact that is still felt today. Churchill's personal qualities, like his boldness and perseverance, continue to inspire leaders. His life serves as an example of dedication and service.